Hey, this is Mark from Union Home Mortgage, and today we're going to talk about where are all the homes for sale. I'm sure you've heard from the media that there aren't a whole lot of homes out there for sale, and that at the same time, the media is looking for a housing crash, maybe in 2025. So those two thought processes don't jive. So let's take a look and see where we think we're at as far as homes for sale and why there aren't enough. So let's begin with the current housing shortage. Now, it depends on who you look at, depends on what study you're reading, but on average, we're about 2.8 million homes behind the eight ball in new home construction. So we're not keeping up with demand, we're not keeping up with new family formations, and this is not really a new problem. This problem came from the 2008 Great Recession. I call it the Great Meltdown. So if you notice in the red area here, this was before 2008. When housing prices began to crash in 2008, the banks basically stopped writing checks to developers. So when developers were no longer able to fund their developments, they stopped building. So that lasted for a few years, and it's taken quite a while to build back up to some level of construction where we were previous. Now, the pandemic did give us a short window where building stopped, but the pandemic really didn't cause this. It made it a little bit worse, but it really didn't have that much of an effect on where we're at. So nationally, we can take a look. So let's take a look at the one-year change in active housing inventory for sale between June 23 and June 24. So that's over the last year. So you can see that pretty much except for Nevada, everybody else is in the blue, which is a positive. So there's more housing, there's more inventory this year in 2023 than there was last year. So that's good news. But we have to take a look and say, okay, what does it look like over the last 5 years? So before the pandemic. So you can see that everybody is either pretty close to neutral or in the brown, which is bad. So Michigan, for instance, we're negative by 52%. Over the last 5 years. So this is a problem, and this is a continuing problem. And this is why I think that this talk about a housing crash doesn't hold water. So let's take a look at Michigan, because I'm in Michigan. So you can see that since 2002, or since 2000, what housing has done in general. Now, this is for the state of Michigan. Again, everything is local. So, if you're looking at a city if you're looking at Detroit versus Rochester Hills versus Pontiac versus Lansing, your appreciation is going to be a little bit different for each area, but in general for the state. So you can see that since 2012, we've had a pretty good rise. And even the recession prior to 2002, home prices continue to go up. Typically during recessions, home prices always still go up. It was only during the Great Meltdown and the Great Recession of 2008 that home prices actually dropped. So having said that, again, so we don't have enough inventory, and home prices continue to go up. This is just the law of supply and demand. So the general thought is that the average annual appreciation is going to continue for the next 5 years at about 3.8%. So you bought a house today at $400,000. In 5 years, you've got $83,000 in equity, not including what you've paid down on the principal balance of your mortgage if you got a mortgage. This is a big deal, and this is why it's still a good time to purchase a home. So real estate is still the best long-term investment. 36% of those that were surveyed think that real estate is your best way for long-term investment and to build net worth. The other factor is that there's a basic idea that for every 1% that the mortgage rate drops, 5 million more households qualify for a mortgage. Now, I'm not suggesting that we're going to get 5 million more households that all run into the market. But again, this thought process that as rates drop, it's going to ease the market somehow, that's not going to happen because we're going to have a lot more buyers that are currently sitting on the fence. They're going to jump into the market. Now, there is a thought process, and this is my thought process, that as rates go down, it's going to free up the lower priced homes, because those people are going to be able to move up without going into payment shock between where they are currently and where they will be down the road. So as those people move, it's the first-time home owners. As those people move into larger homes for whatever reason or move out of their current house, it's going to make available more homes on the short end, on the lesser end, which should free up homes for the first-time home buyers. We'll have to see how that all plays out, but that's my theory. So I still think it's a great time to buy. It's really dependent on your situation. Nobody's suggesting that you go out and you buy a house that you can't afford. You still have to be able to pay the bill every month. I always say that if you can't sleep at night, what's the point? So with that, just give me a shout, 248-705-8431. That's my cell. You can text me, you can call me. If you've got questions about whether you think you're ready or not, let's do a no-cost purchase assessment. And we'll just talk about where you're at currently, where you want to be, what your income and debts look like, and then we'll go from there. Any questions, again, reach out to me. Thanks a lot and have a great day.